Hello there. Sorry it's been a long time since I've uploaded. I started uploading. Hi, cat. I started. I was reading my Bible during that time, but I started a blog. Though I haven't always been the best about it. I started trying to podcast, which I have been on and off about. And I've been trying to. Been making TikToks for my kids. Anyway, regardless of all that, I have been trying to do a bunch of things to try and figure out what is the best way for me to talk about my faith and have people responding and communicating with me on it. Still trying to figure that out, so here's a video on here to see if it works. My cat's being affectionate, so here we are. Hi. Since I've been here last, my church has made me pretty much a youth pastor. I am training under our current youth pastor to learn how to do youth ministry because they believe that I should go into it full time, and so that's what I'm doing right now. It's kind of exciting, but also a little, that's what I'm doing. But yeah, it's been good. I've been enjoying it. I've gone to a few retreats on the subject, and it's really been working out. So, I think it's what's going to happen in the future. But, right now I'm just training underneath the current youth pastor to see if that's to learn how to do so on my own. And that's where I am right now. Hi. Really? You're going to stand right there? Cats. Oh, gosh, don't stand on that. Almost stepped on the keyboard and did crazy things. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about a book that I read on the subject of youth ministry, because since that's what my current focus is, that's obviously I'm going to be viewing a lot of things through that goal. If I talk about things on here, I might talk about things as I want to teach them to the youth that I'm working with. I'm working with mainly middle schoolers and a few high schoolers. So a lot of things like how I'm structuring ideas for Sunday school for the youth ministry, or books that I'm reading on the topic that have to do with it, etc., etc. That's what I'm thinking about talking about. Hi, Pev. So I just finished a book today on the subject. It's called A New Kind of Leader. It's by Reggie Joiner, who is a very prolific, youth director. Has been for years. He actually now helps with youth ministry for people around the country and the world, so that's pretty nifty. Met him at one of the youth conferences I went on. That was cool. But it was really good. It's a short little book, real simple, lots of spaces and infographics and stuff like that. But it was pretty good, and the basic summary that you can get from it is the fact that, first of all, you need to remember to treat your teens like they're humans, because they are. I feel personally a lot of the issues that people are having with teens nowadays is that, one, they forget that they're teens. And, when you were a teenager, you were stupid sometimes. You weren't perfect. As much as you like to tell your kids or your grandkids or whatever that you were always a good person, you messed up as a teenager, and that's okay. You're not horrible for it. But a lot of parents nowadays treat their teenagers either like they are permanently a little munchkin, like they're permanently 5 years old or 7 years old, or they, the second they turn like 13, they have to act like a perfect 25-year-old. They don't have that time to be trying to be an adult but not yet there. They either are 100% innocent or have to be a perfectly formed adult. And it's just very stressful for the teens, especially, they feel that in online spheres. They're either talked down to or treated at the exact level of like a 35-year-old theoretical physicist. And it's just very stressful because how are kids, don't step on my keyboard, baby, how are kids supposed to learn how to, how to interact, how to be, how to socialize, unless we let them actually try and experiment and treat them, put them in adult situations and have patience with them until they figure it out themselves. So anyway, a lot of that book was reminding you of the fact that your teens are freaking humans too. Also the fact that teens are attached to some sort of family unit, whether that's parents, grandparents, foster care, adoption, etc. And regardless, that's who they mainly spend time with, so you have to, not ignore the family. And also the fact that, once again, kids are like mini adults. They're trying to figure out how to be an adult, which means you have to treat them like an adult while having the patience of as you would with a child. So you have to let them work at the food kitchen. You have to have them help out with the setup and the tear down of the sanctuary. You have to let them help with the children's ministry. You have to let them go out and actually be an adult while being there to catch them for in case they slip up. You have to hold them to higher standards because they're not 7 anymore. But you need to remember that they're also not 25. They need to have grace given to them because they don't get online areas, you're either 100% right or you're 100% wrong. There's no nuance online. And that's what the kids are enveloped in. So you have to be the person that actually has the nuance and allows them to just be. I know that the kids in my youth group, they were terrified to answer any questions, even ones about, what's your opinion on this? Because they didn't want to be wrong until they finally realized that I literally would not care what they said. Until they realized that I would not judge them on the validity of their answer, I would just then talk about it. Once they realized that they were allowed to be wrong and that they would have no judgment and that I would squash anyone who tried to make fun of them for being wrong, then they felt safe to communicate. We have to create places that they feel safe because, once again, it's that whole dichotomy that they have to be right or they have to be wrong. There's no middle ground. And they spend most of their time online on TikTok and Snapchat and, TikTok, Snapchat, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, etc. And there's just so many aggressive opinions that they are not allowed to contradict. And if they do, they get canceled or kicked out or get attacked or get, bullied. And, it's not like when we were younger. I'm including me in this because social media wasn't yet as prevalent. It was there, but not as prevalent. It was still an optional thing. No one made fun of you if you didn't have it yet because you weren't allowed to have a Facebook in high school until I was a senior anyway. Anyway, so the thing is that, say even if you got bullied at school or even if you had people you had issues with at school, you could go home and just get rid of that. You can go home and maybe you'd spend some time in your room to decompress from something that was stressful, but you didn't have constant reminders of the drama going on at your house. You could go home and it would be safe. Now they go home, they have their phone, and the drama continues, and they don't know how to handle it, and so they implode. And so, we need to be that safe place. They don't have that safe place at home anymore, so we need to create that safe place where they know that they can be wrong and that it's okay, where they know they can ask that awkward question and they won't be judged for it. They know they can ask a question and get an answer without judgment. They know that they can admit that they messed up and that they'll still be loved anyway, because some of the kids don't feel safe doing that at home. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what this book was about, is you have to be the adult that the kids need. Because they may not have that at home, or, they might just need another one. And also, just the fact of, there's so many, people in Christian media today bemoaning the state of society and, talking about how everything's horrible and kids have no respect nowadays. Well, do any of those adults bemoaning kids these days actually work with kids these days? Because if you want anything to get better, you have to start with the next generation. If you want kids to respect their elders, well then those elders better be freaking working with those kids. Okay? If you don't understand why no one appreciates hard work nowadays, well, you better be working with those kids, showing them the appreciation of hard work. If not, you're just like that person who sits on the couch all day and then complains about the fact that they can't run a 5K because you never got off the couch to go running. Okay? You can't complain about things that you aren't part of the solution to. So get out there, find some kids, and be a good leader to them. Treat them like humans, treat them like adults, give them love, compassion, patience, perseverance, all those beautiful fruits of the Spirit that you missed when you were growing up and that the kids nowadays sure as heck don't have. And teach them how to be okay with not being okay, and how to be okay with not everyone liking them, and how to be okay with who they are in this moment and who God has made them to be in this season. Because they don't know how to figure that out for themselves. Our society right now is not geared toward that level of self-examination and meditation and understanding that on your own. They need someone to help them, and they just want a mentor that actually loves them and isn't going to judge them. Because literally everyone in the world is judging them every moment of the day. Even when they go to their room and they're completely alone, people are judging them online. They don't have a single place, a single relationship that doesn't have judgment attached. Unless you actively make that who you are. Okay? That is what God wants for you. He wants you to be loving and kind and caring to the next generation. That's why Jesus, was so strong about, loving children. It says right here, Jesus evidently had pretty high opinion of kids. Remember, he actually said, whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. If you love the kids, if you work with the kids, you're working with Jesus, okay? That's all I really got to say about it. And that's kind of something I've been working on a lot. I've got a lot more youth ministry books coming in the mail as a Christmas gift to myself. So if you liked this, let me know. If you want me to podcast it, I can do that. If you want me to blog about it and drop some links to blogs, let me know. I don't know what the best way to do it is. I just know that I would love some level of feedback and communication. So I know, 1, what is the best way, and 2, so I can feel encouraged in continuing this and not feeling like I'm talking or writing to a wall, But yeah, bless y'all. Have a good day. Peace.